Sometimes we can feel lost in a world which seems chaotic, and we feel triggered by the behaviors of others, by the world, and we can even be angry with others and the world, or even with ourselves. So we can continue to blame the world and others, or we choose to use it as a reminder, as a blessing, to come back to ourselves, to our true nature, the absolute presence. So this presence may seem personal, related to body consciousness. So we practice being present, and sometimes we are present, sometimes absent. But of course, who is present and absent, it is me, or the ego, or the individuated consciousness related to body consciousness. But the absolute presence is not a present which is related to past and future, which is moving in time and space, where sometimes there is presence, sometimes absence. This absolute presence is always here, in spite of your presence or absence as an individual. For example, in deep sleep, you are not aware that you are here, but you as absolute presence is still here. So it's beyond the body consciousness of a person. In deep sleep, the body consciousness of a person is disappearing. So it is a kind of samadhi, but without awareness. So that's why we like it so much. We want to come back again to that samadhi. But it's samadhi which is without the light of awareness. That's the only difference with our real state, which is conscious of itself. So this we can call absolute presence. So we use our sense of I as a separate individual to come back to that presence, and then again it goes back, and then we get tired of it, and we sometimes feel desperate because we go through this contraction, expansion. But in truth, this contraction, expansion is part of the game of consciousness letting go of being separated as a appearing drop of the ocean, and to regain awareness of being the ocean. So this apparent process is also part of the big dream. Consciousness dream to go away from its total state and contract as a separate drop, as a person or any kind of entity, and then want to come back to his own awareness. So this is two directions. So now when we feel tired from the chaos of the world, we feel triggered, angry at others and the world, this is this consciousness which wants to come back to its center, to its true awareness. So for that we can use some tools, some practice, because I noticed, like specifically with people in non-duality, because teachers said don't meditate because you are that. Yes, but Ramana Maharishi never said don't meditate, don't do this, don't do that. Everything is good. You know, if you are in this dream, you feel hungry and go to the kitchen, and suddenly you just have a thought, but I am that, why do I need to eat? No, it just happened. So there is hunger, you eat. Same. So practice is consciousness want to come back to its own self. Why not? What's wrong with that? Nothing. The only pointer in don't meditate if you get keeping yourself lost in concentrating on something which take you away from yourself. That's what it is mean by that. So first we start by pushing. I want to meditate, to gain something, to arrive somewhere, to reach some higher plane, to realize what? That all these planes are part of the dream and we have been always here. In all tradition, finally, the higher stage is not a stage, it's not a state, it's not a place, it's beyond all this concept. So, we can use any tool in this dream, like for example, I will share with you a simple tool that everybody can do with breathing. So, you may have other practices, you might be from other tradition, but this also very simple and grounding, bringing back attention to the breathing, not manipulating anything, just closing. I will make it short now. You can practice short now, but you can do it later on your own. Just closing our eyes might be more easy, but both is possible. And just focus on the breathing. If possible, in the abdomen. And let the attention be stable in the inhale and exhale the whole way, without interruption. And let it slow down, not by pushing, not let it, invitation to let it slow down, getting more fine and refined, very subtle, without losing the contact point. Like on a Tibetan bowl, you would have this sound, continuous sound. So you can keep this point of contact, not losing it at any time on the breathing, and staying here, observing, doing nothing, just letting the breath go deeper and deeper and more refined. So it can seem like a point of contact on a Tibetan bowl around, but in truth it's more the center between the inhale and the exhale, but which is not a place. That's why it's not really graspable by the mind, but it's a center between inhale and exhale. So the more you are in constant touch with this point becomes like the witness consciousness of the breathing. And then ultimately this witness consciousness, this point, is also disappearing. So you can also help with some verbal words. You can add, it can be subtle, in a subtle way. Combining, you can just repeat, I am here, I dissolve, I disappear in this. I am here, I dissolve, I disappear in this. This is not a must, it's just a little plus So whatever, there is no fixed rule in anything. Everyone is unique and different. So just adapt for you, let it marinate, work its own way. The aim is just to come back first to presence, and then letting go of this individual presence, that this unlocated absolute presence shine more and more, which is your true nature, which is not a state, not a place, which is totality of consciousness, or the self, Anami Puruch, the Tao, whatever name you give. So all this is a mean to discontinue to blaming the world, be angry with others. Instead, we use every trigger as a blessing, as a help, as a bell in the temple to tell me, come back to yourself. Come back to your absolute presence, which is never touched by anything. And all the different kind of spiritual experiences or samadhi, they all happen in this absolute presence. So in truth, at that we are that and we don't need anything. But if it happens, why not? So anything is okay. Like even the Ramana Maharishi was saying, something is better than nothing. If you are lost, just do something. It will ultimately lead you to your goal, which is here. If you can hear about the direct path, do nothing, you are that. But most of us, we need to go through some understanding, some kind of practice, so it's all good. So that's my invitation, to not stay stuck in the chaos of the world, and to see the blessing behind all, especially a lot of things are happening these times, these days. So it's a double sword. You can keep contracting and being more lost, or in the opposite, you can open and use it in your own advantage. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you next time. You can like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can also subscribe to my newsletter. I will find you very soon. Thank you. Namaste.